Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Thursday. Let's see. I think it's January 14th. We're ending up this week, and we'll be almost halfway through the month of January. So yesterday was an okay day for a Wednesday. We'll have to see what today brings us. It looks like right now it's kind of a mixed bag. Dave and I will talk about that though here in just a minute. But before we do that, let me remind you that one of the only things that you can control within your portfolio and your retirement accounts is the amount of risk that you currently have. And most people don't know and don't understand how much risk they really have. To find out, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your financial x-ray, where we'll help you determine how much risk you have in your portfolio and make sure that it lines up with your risk tolerance. Again, that number is 863-382-0037. Hey, Dave will be up next, and we'll have a great conversation with him as some news is starting to come in.
Light FM. Naked eyes are there. I am fully clothed, I promise. It's 8:40 now. I'm Morning Dave, and we're going to check in with your money and see how your IRA and your 401k are doing this morning. To do that, we always check in with Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services, and he's on the line now. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. I hope you are too, as we're getting ready to wind down this week tomorrow.
Yeah, we get to wind down the week, though, with a real flood of information because earnings season starts in earnest next week with a whole pile of stocks that we've heard of, and a couple lead the issue today. Let's start out by setting the table. Had green ink yesterday. That was kind of a nice change. I was getting nervous in the morning. Dow up 52 points, NASDAQ up by 56 points, Standard & Poor's up by 10 points. That almost looks like a routine day yesterday. In the face of all the weird junk going on, I'll take routine, won't you?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely, nothing earth-shattering, but it was green nonetheless, and we like green better than we like red.
Yeah, without a doubt. Stuff that did go on yesterday of interest, the Biden transition team let it out anyway, that their plan was to be presenting a $2 trillion spending program as soon as the inauguration is over. That $2 trillion number sounds suspiciously like that stimulus package that was being kicked around Congress right before Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And so I'm assuming there's more money. It sounds like they're going to open up the spigots and more money's coming out. And I'm not, I know there's going to be some folks on Congress that aren't happy about that. But at this point, I think the unhappy people are going to be in the minority.
I suspect so, and I'm a tea leaf reader as far as political news is concerned, and there's a bunch of tidbits that have been coming out on the political sites that Biden and his staff have reached out to Mitch McConnell on the Senate, and they've already got some ideas as where the two can find common ground to get junk through and not have just blanket resistance from the Republican side at every single turn in the Senate. So this actually could be something for better or worse. I mean, leave it up to the politics to decide whether it's good or bad. But something could actually happen fairly quickly after the 20th once the Senate gets done playing impeachment trial games.
Well, that's true. And let's face it, if we remember back 4 years from that ago, Trump was hit the ground running pretty hard and got things done pretty quickly that were on his agenda. And so I suspect that we'll see the same thing out of Biden. He's got a plan. The other thing I saw come across the news was, he's got a plan to kick in this vaccine distribution. We'll have to see how that works, because at this point it's not the federal government that's the problem. It's the states are kind of the bottleneck in getting the vaccine out there.
Well, Azar was doing that as well. Even in the current administration, he was making some noise yesterday. People stop holding back the second doses. And talking to a friend last night, I'm really kind of torn on this because it might be the right idea, but it is holding things back. I got my dose last week. They're holding a second dose for me for 28 days later. Well, I'll be really honked if it's not there in 28 days. But that having been said, that also means a whole lot of doses of the vaccine are out there and being held that could be giving a whole running ton of people first doses right now. I'm kind of, sort of, even with the risk that it would take for those of us that have had our first dose, saying, hey, let's just get everybody their first dose, because they're pushing this stuff out of the factory as fast as they can do it.
Well, that's true. And if you had if you had the assurance that the manufacturing would be there and the second dose would be there, then that would be okay. But I think that there will be, some give and take there a little bit. And I think that, the other thing that people have to remember is that I'm not so sure it's a 28-day drop dead. Here's a done deal. There's going to be some lag time to get everybody in and through that second shot too. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm relying more on the medical people than I am the politicians, Dave.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying I'm not sure what's a good and what's a bad idea. I understand the motivation. From what I've read, if you've got the first dose in, 28 days is the target date. It's going to be equally effective with no loss of effectiveness if it takes out to maybe 35 days. So you got a 7-day fudge factor in there. And at that point in time, given a little bit of wiggle room, my instinct is dump that stuff on the population and get it going. The rumor had it they've only got like 500 doses in Highlands County this week, and that won't even get through today's reservations.
No, that's sad. I was hoping we'd see a couple thousand a week coming in, because we could definitely get them out there.
I'm hoping the rumor was not true, because we've been getting 900 to 1,000 for the last 2 weeks, and it'd be kind of nice to have it at least stay up to where we had anyway. Start out the morning with the economic news, and then we'll get into a couple of reports that came out this morning. Jobless claims, always our first tidbit of news that comes out every Thursday morning, and it was I'll put my tongue in my cheek and say it was a bit of a miss. First-time claims, 965,000 first-time jobless claims. My market timer was expecting 795, so that's a cavernous-sized miss from what they expected.
Yeah, it is, and that's kind of where I was too. But it did not. Let's see, it hasn't affected the futures, Dave, at all. Looking at the numbers, it's actually they've improved a little bit over the last 15 minutes.
Well, we know what happens when the government starts bandying around $2 trillion stimulus numbers. Wall Street goes crazy, and a rumor might just be enough to ameliorate that bad news, huh?
That's true. That's a possibility for sure.
Continuing claims came in at 5.0. No, wait, you had a different number, 5.17 million, didn't you?
I did. My number was a little higher than yours. Mine was 5.271 compared to the 5.061 they were expecting. And so that was an increase in continuing claims and not a decrease that they were expecting. And the average 4-week average of jobless claims also went up a little bit from where it was previously.
Which, once again, you and I have been saying we kind of half expected. I don't know why the market wasn't with all the shutdowns in California and New York. I mean, at some point in time, we had to see some unemployment claim bump upward, didn't we?
We did, and I think I saw that this is the highest weekly claim number since August.
Yeah, are you listening, California? That's what's happening out there. The other tidbit that I had beforehand was that the Goldman Sachs people came out, and I think they're probably basing it on the presumption that we're going to be spending a lot of money. They think the Standard & Poor's 500 index is going to go up like 14% this year. That's got to be thinking about the stimulus coming out of the government, doesn't it?
It really, I would think so, that it's got to be, stimulus related, that people will be able to get money, spend money, and it takes spending money to keep the economy going, which the market likes.
Absolutely. Earnings season gets in earnest next week, but we got a couple, or tomorrow rather. But we do have a couple of early indications anyway from one big player in the financial industry and one big player in the transportation industry this morning, don't we?
We do. So on the financial side, Dave, we got BlackRock. They're an asset management firm, and they reported profits of a little over $1 a share more than expected. They were expected to come in at about $9.14 and came in at $10.18. So a good quarter for them. And so they continue to move. Well, They were moving higher, Dave. When I looked earlier, they're actually down 1/4% now. That shows you kind of how finicky things can be.
Slam through expectations, and they still trade you down. You can't
That's
win
right.
these things, can you?
And we got some profit taking going on there probably. So the other in the transportation industry, airlines, we've got Delta. They reported a loss 3 cents more than expected. They lost $2.53 a share, 3 cents more than expected. You know, this pandemic just continues to impact the travel industry. Though they did, and this is probably good news, they cut their daily cash burn rate. That's the amount of cash they're spending every day to $12 million a day, half of what it was from last quarter. So that does sound like good news, and everybody thinks it's good news because the stock's up 3.3% this morning.
So the one that missed ends up going up, and the one that beats end up going down today in pre-market.
Hey, you know, no rhyme or reason, right?
I'm much better at reporting it than I am guessing what the reaction's going to be. Resetting the table, modest up numbers on Wall Street yesterday morning, 45 minutes before we throw real money around this morning. Phillip, how are we looking?
Hey, we got some green numbers there, and they're not bad. We got the Dow up about 1/3%. We got the S&P 500 up a little less than 0.2, and then we've got the Nasdaq up 1/10, which is good because it was trading down most of the morning. So it has gone to the green territory, which we like. Hey, on the commodities front, Dave, we saw a lot of red today. We got silver down 0.8%. We got gold down 7%, or not 7%, 0.7%. I'll get it right there. And
that
then
would have been scary, 7%.
I'd have people running for the hills. Then we had a crude oil down 1% this morning to $52.41 a barrel.
No, that'll be a trading range I can live with if it doesn't go too high. World markets overseas, everything was green ink. They must like that Biden spending plan. Asian rim markets were up by close to 1% across the board. European markets are up between 1/4 and 1/2% midway through their trading day. Phillip, like we were kind of giggling about it, the stocks that beat go down, the stocks that miss go up. This makes no sense. We call that volatility, and it can really mess with your retirement plans. How do I find you to get that volatility out of my retirement account?
Hey, Dave, the way to find out how much risk you have in your portfolio, which is the only thing that you can control within your portfolio, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to make sure that your risk lines up with your current portfolio. You can always go online to our website, statlerfinancial.com. There are several links there to our radio shows and to our calendar if you want to schedule an appointment. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. on Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
Alrighty, and back here again tomorrow morning, same time on Light FM with a look at what's going on first thing in the morning. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you then, all right?
All right, man. You have a great day.
Thank you kindly. 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. Wedding.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you have a great day. I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow to update you on tomorrow's financials. We get a lot of the banks reporting tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.